But now we're into route news as we have a lot of awesome stuff to go into. So very exciting. Let's get into it. So North Atlantic, the planned service to London Gatwick, which is very exciting in August. So this will be very exciting to see North make it into London Gatwick, which I think will be a really good market for them. So as you guys know, they're starting mainly most of their service from Islo, I believe, and they were flying to the U.S. But now they're going to be starting service into London Gatwick, which is really, really exciting. I think this will be very good. It appears to be that they're going to be doing this from Fort Lauderdale and New York JFK, it appears. So those will be really good routes. I think that this will be a great second base for them. As like I said, they started service from Oslo, as we covered previously. Excuse me. But yes, really excited to see that. They think that Paris will be next, so that will also be exciting. So lots of great routes from Norse. I think that they're going to do a really good job. These are kind of lessons that they've learned from Norwegian, it appears, from the past. This was a very similar market to what they tried to cater to. So, but yes, I'm really excited. Here's a quote of note. We are starting to scratch building a lean organization, and we use all those efforts focusing on one type of operation: low cost, long haul. And we will be purely low cost. I'm so sorry. We have industry knowledge, passion, and dedication. We will introduce aircraft new routes gradually, based upon demand and profitability. And the teething problems with the Dreamliner are gone. Not least, we will have a strong balance sheet. So very exciting stuff there for Norse. I think they're going to do a really good job with that market. I think London Gatwick with those two routes to start will be really good. They're very high demand routes, and I don't even know if Fort Lauderdale has a London Gatwick right now. So that is really exciting. I think they're going to do really good with those routes, and I think it will be really good. So well done, Norse, and I'm really excited to see where they're going to go here. A massive expansion from Volaris is they're going to be starting 16 brand new routes from the new Mexico City airport, which is very exciting. So as you guys know, the new airport of Mexico City has really been bustling. We talked about Vita Aerobus starting new routes from there in the last episode. In this episode, we're going to have 16 new routes from the city as well, which is going to be very helpful going forward. So they're going to start flying to, I'm going to probably botch several of these, so I'm just going to try my absolute best. So I'm sorry, but Osteopasco, Guadalajara, Jalisco, La Paz, Madrid, I think, Mexican, Oxnard, Puerto Vallarta, Puerto Espartago, and Los Cabos. So those are all going to be the domestic routes, which is very exciting. So the majority of those will be starting in the August and September ballpark. So you're also going to find new routes to Tunja, Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, Guadalajara, Los Cabos, and Jalisco, and those routes will be starting in July, so that's very exciting. So the majority of those will be daily. There is a couple that will have some weekly frequencies, which are really exciting. So yes, some of these are already operating, but most of these will be new starting routes. I think these will be really, really good. And again, I'm sorry on the pronunciation, but yeah, these will be great from the various cities in the Mexico City region. Of course, they have a lot of service out of Guadalajara and various airports there, so I think this will be really, really good. I think this will be very helpful for Volaris. And yeah, with Mexico City continuing to grow, I think this will be a great way for them to continue to enhance their route market out of that market. So good job, Volaris. Very happy to see it. And that's going to be absolutely awesome. As Delta restarts new seasonal service from New York to Prague, which will be very good. So this is a summer seasonal route that they've had. This is the first time this route will be operating since COVID, so it's very exciting to see this route back. It started on May 26th. It will be a daily service, which is very exciting, and I'm not seeing an aircraft. I think it's going to be the 767, but I'm not. Yeah, 767. So it will be 767, which will be perfect. And yeah, here is a quote here that was said. This was said by Delta's region sales manager, Tom Bradett. He said, "We're delighted to return Prague today for the first time since 2019. The full flight shows the demand for this travel to the beautiful city. The removal of all COVID entries requirements last month has had a positive impact on bookings. We're looking forward to a successful summer season connecting Prague to New York and beyond, while also supporting our respective tourism economies." So very exciting to see that. That is one thing that's huge, is lifting those restrictions. Obviously, there's various opinions on that, and we're not going to get into that. But one factual evidence shown here is that it will help the bookings, and a full flight for that route, super exciting. So Prague's a really cool city. I think that it always looks really, really good. So again, this is going to be DL 210 and 211, and this aircraft leaves JFK at 9:30 and arrives over there at 11:45 in the morning. Then comes back at 1:45 that day and arrives back to JFK at 5 o'clock. So I think that's a really good route for the 767. which is very exciting. And there was some various other routes. Boston to Athens started on the A330-300, which is very exciting. And yeah, Delta's really doing good with their transatlantic services. And I think they're going to continue to do really well with them. Obviously, COVID had a huge factor on those, but I think going forward that they're going to really see dividends going forward with obviously a new era of travel as a whole. So very excited to see the great service for Prague, and I think that will be great. This is one that's my forte right here. So I saw the article and I was like, you know what, might as well. Breeze Airways to launch seasonal Tulsa and Nashville flights, which is very exciting. So yes, as you guys know, I was fortunate enough to get to be a part of the inaugural, which was so much fun. So this is going to be a new route for Breeze, Tulsa, and Nashville. So first and foremost, this route I think has some potential. The bookings have been trending up, which is really exciting. The outbound inaugural service went out with about 75 people on it, which is pretty solid. I mean, it's not the best, but it's pretty good, all things considered. Allegiant did give this route a shot back in 2020 during the pandemic, and they failed completely because of it being during the pandemic. But I think Breeze's style, what they're catering to, I really feel like will fit this route great. It was so cool, and I mean, it was so cool to see people talking in Nashville an hour before the flight about how they were excited for this nonstop link. Yes, it was only like 3 dozen people, but I mean, still though, that is so exciting to see people excited, and we need this word of mouth promotion to continue to promote new routes like this to help succeed routes like Tulsa and Nashville. So again, this is a new service. This is going to be starting the Embraer 190, but should be moving over to the Airbus A220 very shortly here in a couple weeks, so that's very exciting. And yes, this is very exciting. The route leaves Nashville at 2:55 p.m. and arrives in Tulsa at 4:40 p.m. Has a quick turnaround. It departs Tulsa at 5:30 p.m. and arrives back in Nashville at 7:05 p.m. This is a double weekly service on the Thursday and Sunday, and does really, really good. So here's our chief commercial officer at Tulsa International Airport, Andrew Prenolin, said, "We are excited for Tulsans to be able to get to Nashville nonstop and explore the city. Has the offer. Thank you to our partners at Breeze who saw the strong initial bookings on the new route, and I've already extended the route's seasonability through the end of 2022. And it was looking much better. I mean, I saw numerous frequencies that had over half full, and several of them getting closer to 3/4. So I think that word of mouth promotion is huge. Again, I saw several people just talking and just, getting those grooves going. It was just so many different things. Some people had relatives in Nashville. Some people have relatives in Tulsa. Likewise, I mean, some people had baseball games, and I heard some country music talk. I mean, it was great. So that's just super exciting. I think the route has a lot of potential to go. Here's what David Nilman had to say about it. He said, "There are a significant number of unserved markets from Tulsa that will provide us many years of growth opportunities. And we're thrilled to give Tulsa residents nonstop service so that they can get to where they want to go twice as fast for about half the cost." That's an understatement, because I did the opposite of that, going Tulsa, Dallas, Nashville, and that took from 8 a.m. and I barely made my connection to 1 o'clock. So you're talking about 5 hours, and I barely made those 5 hours. Granted, I didn't even talk about the check-in and the check-out process. So you're talking about an 8-hour travel day. I mean, obviously, I'm being a little facetious here, but still, though, you're talking about probably 6 hours realistically to get to Nashville. But now you can do it in, an hour and a half, which is that's incredible, man. That's a testament to how all these new airlines and how the industry is growing right now. It is so exciting to see these various new airlines, low-cost carriers, whatever it may be, and just everybody coming together to make all these, just make it flow, man. It's incredible. David Newman, of course, has had huge success with WestJet, JetBlue, and Azul, and he's making Breeze happen, man. I'm so excited. I do plan to try their brand new A220 product very soon, but I can say Breeze is a phenomenal airline. I'm really excited to talk about them more in depth in the future, but since I knew a lot about that topic, I could not resist putting it in. So that's a new route. They also started Nashville to Windsor Locks. Very exciting. I think they also started new routes like Nashville to Akron and different ones like that. So I think Nashville to Charleston may be the one too. So great to see Nashville as a new station for Breeze. I'm really excited to see what the future holds, and it's going to be super exciting. So well done there by Breeze. United Airlines, it jets back into Melbourne, which is super exciting. So now they're going to be coming back on a twice-weekly 787-9 service from San Francisco, which is super exciting. So this is very exciting. I think this was another one suspended due to the pandemic, but this on June 4th, the aircraft, which would have been yesterday as I'm recording this. I think this is coming out Monday, hopefully. But yeah, the aircraft made a 15 and a half hour flight. Oh, this article must have got updated. Okay. So yeah, that's why. But yes, made the flight, which is very exciting. And yeah, it's really nice to see the 15-hour flight back. It's definitely a longer one, but it's a Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday service. And of course, they come back on the other days, Monday, Thursday, Saturday. So very, very nice. I think it's going to be a great route back from the pandemic, of course. They do compete with Qantas on it, so that is something to keep in mind. But I still think that there's enough demand to satisfy a United service, which is very nice. So, and not to mention that there's the new partnership now with Virgin Australia, as my internet just completely died, which is very unfortunate. But let me reload the article here. But yeah, really exciting to see it. I think it's going to be really good. And yeah, I think it's going to be great. So very excited to see how that's going to go in the future. And that's going to be absolutely awesome to dive into in the future. So very, very nice right there. So very excited for that. And yes, we do have some additional route news. So I'm making sure I don't miss anything. So Breeze Airways is, there's some different things. So here we go. One new route that I thought American added several new routes. I think it was LaGuardia added an expansion. There wasn't an article on it for whatever reason, but it was like Tulsa, Little Rock, LaGuardia to Tulsa, Little Rock. I think there was like 4 others. JFK, I think, had one too. So very excited to see all those new routes. They all looked really good. Sorry that there was no article. I don't know what that was about, but really excited to see that. I think those will be great routes, and it'll be very, very exciting. So great to see it. And again, I'm sorry there was no article. I don't know why there wasn't, but what can I say at this point? It was fairly disappointing to say the least. So that was very rough. But nevertheless, in more unfortunate news, if I could find it, sorry, I probably should have just screenshotted this. But yeah, Avelo Airlines is going to be departing 2 destinations coming up: Fort Collins, Colorado, and Ogden, Utah, which is very disappointing. Well, not disappointing, but very sad, I should say. So both, I think, just were not able to sustain enough service, which were very unfortunate. I thought that both were very good routes. I think they just were not able to get enough going, which is just sad, but they just sometimes it just can't happen. So, but I at least give them credit for trying. It's something that was nice. But hopefully going forward, it'll be they'll have more markets to try, and maybe somehow those cities can get service back. I think Fort Collins is left with nothing. So hopefully in the future they can. But until then, we just got to wait and be patient with it. So it's very unfortunate for sure, but we got to do what we got to do. Next up, very exciting to see several new international routes started on June 1st. So let's go through all of those. Lufthansa began service to St. Louis from Frankfurt. I'm really excited to see how the loads are going to do for that. That's a very interesting route to me. So very exciting to see that. Iberia started service to Dallas, Fort Worth, and Washington Dulles. I think those are both great services. I think American and United, respectively, both had those destinations over to Madrid, but I think this is just complimentary service. Obviously, American can utilize the Iberia One World, and I think Dulles is more of a standalone service. So, but I think those will be really, really good. Finnair starts service to Seattle. I think it makes a lot of sense with One World, so that's going to be a great Northwest connection for anybody in the United States looking to go to Helsinki or anywhere in the surrounding regions. ITA started service to Los Angeles. I'm assuming that's Airbus A350 right there. I think that's a great service. This kind of picks up on where Alitalia left off, so I think this will be very, very good. And lastly, Ethiopian started service to Washington Dulles from LFW. I'm not sure which airport that is, so I apologize, but that's a new exciting route for Ethiopian, continuing to enhance their Washington Dulles market. I think that's a really good route right there, and I'm very excited to see how that will do in the future. So well done right there. Very, very exciting, and I think that will be a great service right there. Last but certainly not least, Breeze did receive a slot in Long Beach, so you will be expecting Breeze to start new service there. We are not sure what the destination is going to be at this time, but we know that they do have a confirmed slot. It was a former Delta slot, so you can definitely expect that going forward. So I'm really excited to see how Breeze will do as I reload all these tabs while talking about this. So yes, I think Breeze will do really good with that. I think Long Beach is another good market they can get on, and they got really cool services in San Bernardino and Los Angeles. So I'm really excited to see how they will work in Long Beach. I think that will be a great destination. I'm really excited to see Breeze continue to expand. They can reach a lot of these markets, like Tulsa, for instance. I really feel like there's some routes that Breeze could get in on. I mean, Breeze is such a cool airline, man. They really remind me a lot of it's a hybrid between a ULCC and an LCC. You know, it doesn't remind me of Frontier Spirit Allegiant completely, but it also doesn't remind me completely of Southwest, but I would trend towards that. So, I mean, that's just awesome. I'm so excited to see where Breeze is going to go. I think they have a huge future ahead. They're going to be a great airline going into the future, and I honestly think that they have so much potential going forward. So I'm so excited for Breeze. I think they're going to do a great job, and I'm really, really excited to see where they're going to go going forward.